Hi, this is Matt, and I want to showcase an amazing tool right here from Tammy's Technology Tips. Tammy took a Google form and she transformed it into a way for your students to tweet. It's an amazing tool, and you got to check it out. It's right here under Class Tweeter Board. You want to look it up under Tammy's Technology Tips. I'm going to open this up. And so, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually need to make a copy. When I make a copy of this, I will actually save this in my Google Drive. So it saves in my Google Drive, which is great. And I'm going to follow the step-by-step instructions that Tammy has listed below. She does an amazing job on this, so I can't say enough. Step number one here is to change the title of the spreadsheet. So right up here, you have copy of Tweeter template. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, you know what, we're going to call it sample Tweeter template. And then it says change the title of the form. And remember, this is a Google form, and all of the data is being sent right here to the spreadsheet. So I'm just going to pull down the menu that says form. Okay, so form is right here, and I'm going to go to edit form. I'm going to see the actual tweeter board. This is the tweeter message board. It's really cool. I'm going to actually change the name of the form right here. I'm going to just call it, I'll call it sample again. I'll call it sample tweeter form. I'll change this right here. I'll just, instead of tweeter message board, I'll say for tweeter message board for my blog. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet. So I'm going to go back to the tab, and it asks me, do you want to moderate student messages? Now, if I do want to choose what students post, I can by just putting a Y for yes, or just leaving it blank for no. I'm just going to leave it blank. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to get URL, and this is the really cool part. You're going to pull down the form menu and go to the live form. So I'm going to go form, I'm going to go to live form, and this is what my tweeter message board looks like. I'm going to go to the URL up top, which you're not going to be able to see on the screencast, and I'm going to copy it. When I do that, I'm going back to my spreadsheet, and I'm going right here where it says live form URL. I'm going to paste it. And here's where it gets really cool, is it generates a shortened URL, bit.ly short URL for me right here, which I can share with my students, or I can move over. Actually, I'm sorry. I can go right here to under procedure, and it generates a QR code for me. So what I can do is I can actually just pull this up in class, or I can copy the shortened URL and give it to my students in class, and they can start tweeting. Okay, so here's where it gets really cool now is step 4, we're going to show the tweeter board, and here is the actual sample tweeter board. These were some sample messages that some other people had put down, I guess, which was pretty good. This right here is where you can moderate whether you approve or disapprove of statements. If you checked in step number 1 right here, if you remember, if you put a Y right here that you want to moderate, this is where you would moderate statements, and you would put a Y next to the ones that you want to appear on your tweeter board. Okay, I like this as well. This is where my form responses go, and they essentially go from here into my tweeter board. So I have all of these different things right here that somebody else had posted, I guess, from the form. So I'm going to actually delete all of these responses right here. So I'll just delete rows 2 through 9. I'm going to go to my form as well, because it's really important to go to my form and make sure that it says 0 responses up here, which it does. Okay, and now when I go to my tweeter board, check this out, nothing's on here. All right, so I share this with my students, and let's say, for instance, I'm sharing this live form, and share it with my students, and they put in a message. I hit submit. What it'll automatically do is populate my tweeter board. There's my message board right here. Here's the name, and once again, I have my form responses right here that are time-stamped. I have the actual tweeter board, which I have right here. I may want to change Mrs. Tang's 5th grade class to, Matt's blog or whatever. And now I can get feedback from my students in so many different ways. And this is just a really, really cool way of getting your students, especially elementary students, to tweet even though they're under the age of 13. It's just simply a Google form. So an amazing tool by Tammy's Tech Tips. You can find this resource on my blog at bergman-udl.blogspot.com. You could also find this resource at Tammy's Technology Tips for Teachers. Just do a Google search for class tweeter template and you will find Tammy's information. And check out her blog. She has an amazing blog filled with all sorts of different resources that can be very helpful in your particular situation.